lady just like we just said what's up to me, and dude approaching me, he's behind me, he's like, it's so weird. He was like, oh, you said something to my girl. I'm just like, if I don't want to let go of this choke, I'm gonna take your life. If I don't want to let go of your leg, I'm gonna break it. You know what I mean? Like, you could be the tough guy, right? But it's like, you gotta understand, like, a lot of these people that do martial arts, they're in that stressful situation daily. A lot of people outside, they don't. You could play tough. To you, it's just another Monday. To them, it's a big thing. Hi everyone, my name is Angel Guzman. I'm 38 years old. I'm a personal trainer, kickboxing instructor for, let's say, the longer part of 16 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. Maybe a little bit longer. I'm probably lowballing it, but yeah, personal training is my field. It's what I love to do. It's what I feel is God's calling to me, something I fell in love with, and yeah.
How did you find out that was God's calling to you?
I got to a point where, like, where it took nothing for me to be able to help people, like, transform their bodies or transform their lives physically the way they wanted to. So let's say, for example, one of my friends, he wanted to get ready for his wedding, and like, I realized that it was God's calling to me when I realized that it took nothing for me to, like, create an entire program like this for him, like, and just to get it done. You know, like, it's like almost, I don't know, I guess I've been involved with it so long that it's like second nature to me now. Like, yeah.
Wow.
So that's why I feel like it's like God was just like, here, this is your gift to humanity.
I see. And you said you're also a kickboxing trainer.
Yeah.
And boxing as well, right?
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Right. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. So as far as like when I started, I was a kid, honestly, man. And it was random, to be honest. Like, my dad, I was always outside. You know, it's not like we had like phones like this back then. Like I said, I'm 38 years old. So you know, so we didn't have phones and stuff like that back then. So we was outside a lot, and I was getting in trouble, and I was, you know, the typical kid doing gang stuff, just being stupid. And my dad, he was like, at first he took me to this one gym on 135th. I do not remember the name, but it wasn't like, it was good. Like, I liked it because they were teaching me something, but it wasn't like it wasn't a boxing gym. So, you know, it didn't really like grab my attention and keep me there. All right. But he then took me to this, he took me to John's gym when it was on 3rd Ave. And yo, like, I fell in love with it, bro. Like I was hitting pads, hitting the bag, and it felt great. And then, like, I had my first sparring session, and like, I hit the dude. I ain't knock him out, but I hurt him, and I was like, oh man, this is it for me. I love it.
Right,
you know,
right.
I was still green. Like, I was still green. I ain't really know much, but just the fact that I got that experience, I was like, oh, this is it for me.
So the adrenaline. Would you say that, like, back before that, you got in trouble because of the adrenaline? You were seeking that dopamine, that adrenaline.
I mean,
rush.
I mean, you could say that. You can say that, because, you know, as a man, you know, like, we're driven to seek thrills, whether they're good or bad or stupid. You know, it's kind of like just 100%. In our nature, especially as kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I'd say that played a big part in my stupidity growing up. And then plus, like, you know, following the stupid crowd, following the trends of at the time was like being in a gang and stuff like that. So it was easy for me to fall into, you know. And like I said, it wasn't like my mom and dad could track my location like this. You know what I mean?
Right. So when you transition from being a badass in the streets to now getting at a gym and working out and punching and sparring, did you lose any friends, or did you suggest that they also join?
No, honestly, I didn't suggest anything to them. Like, I kind of just removed myself from like my previous peers. Like,
Okay.
It was just a thing where, yeah, it just wasn't what they were doing just wasn't for me anymore. You know,
Okay.
like I really fell in love with like martial arts,
Yeah.
and not necessarily lifting weights yet, but
Yeah.
just the martial arts aspect of it, like
Right.
just fighting. Like I fell in love with it, and yeah, that's just what I was doing for like.
So martial arts came before lifting weights.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I was definitely doing that first for a while, and then I realized for me it was just like, all right, I'm not competing anymore,
Yeah.
and this was like, and I stopped like martial arts heavy. I think it was like 2019, so it was not that far off.
Hmm.
Where I really was like, kind of told myself, I was like, all right, I'm not competing no more. Like, I'm not gonna beat my body up this way no more. Like,
Yeah.
cause you know, martial arts is tough. You know what I'm saying? Constantly sparring, doing 2-a-days, jujitsu,
Yeah.
kickboxing. Like, it's rough on your body, honestly. So, you know, I told myself I was gonna give my body a break from that. And but I love fitness. Like, I love the gym. Like, I love it. So,
That's awesome.
I just I started bodybuilding. You know, started lifting weights.
Awesome.
And yeah, for me, I'm like, gym is like a way of life, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
in one form or another, like I'm gonna be in the gym, bro. Like,
Absolutely.
and yeah, it's kind of kept me, young. Like, it's kept me
Mhm.
like, it's
Yeah, I
kept
was
me
gonna
looking.
say that you definitely don't look your age.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know, so I like that. You know, like I go to the gym, especially if I clean my face up, I look
Yeah.
cleaner, I look younger. But I feel good. Like, seriously, like I feel good. Like
That's
I have
awesome. That's
I have
awesome.
a 3-year-old that I can keep up with at 38. Like, I'm good.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Not many can say that.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
man.
And what was your biggest obstacle when you first started martial arts? First of all, I'm sorry.
No, that's cool.
Can you tell me the arts you practice?
Yeah, yeah. So my intro to martial arts was boxing. Right, that's
Yeah.
the first thing. I was doing that for a while.
Mm.
Then I got me and my friend Hector at the time. We were watching MMA, UFC. UFC was it was starting to get popular like a lot, right? And like, who wasn't watching UFC at the time, right? When it first started, you know? So it was like, all right, cool, this was good. Started seeing people kick, takedowns, jiu-jitsu, and I really didn't understand jiu-jitsu at all, right? But whatever, me and Hector, we started just throwing kicks. Me, I ain't know how to throw no kick. I know how to throw these hands though. You know what I mean? But he was just like, oh man, you was practicing throwing kicks. Sloppy. We were so sloppy and stupid. But it was fun. It was a new toy. You get a new toy, you learn something, you're like, oh man, you want to play with it. So yeah, we just started kicking, and then our friend Wayne, he was like, yo, I'm part of this dojo. He's like, why don't you guys just come? You guys could train with me. And I was like, all right, cool. I had nothing but time in my hands. I was 20. I think it was like 22.
At that age, you got nothing but time.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I got nothing but time in my hands. I think, I was in my early 20s. So I was like, yeah, let's go. Boom. The gym was, it was called TCK. It was out in Fordham Road, across the street from Fordham University. Sensei there was Sensei Jody Tension. Good dude, extreme dude. A lot, you know, big ups to him, man. I'm glad God put him in my life, because he's been real inspirational to me. Like, yeah. So from there, got introduced to Jody, and I remember. I remember my first class, bro. Miss Tension, which is Jody Tension's mom.
Yeah.
She had, she was, oh man, I love this lady, man. She's a sweetheart. She was asking me, I guess, like, the regular questions. Have you ever done martial arts before and stuff like that? And me, not knowing better, I was a bit cocky, right? And not knowing that these guys are overhearing, or maybe that she was gonna tell them.
Yeah.
But whatever. I was a bit cocky with my answers, and they put me on the mat. And normally your free trial class, they take it easy just to see, what I'm saying, if this is for you.
Yeah.
Nah. Not with me, bro.
Not with me, bro.
Not with me that day. I remember these dudes almost took me out that day, man. Like, I sparred with, I don't know if you remember. You remember Mark? Sensei Mark? The guy I work with now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mark, I sparred with Mark. And bro, Mark fixed me up, bro. Like it got to a point where I was fighting Mark. He was fixing me up, and then I looked at Sensei, and I was like, how do I combat this? And he was just like, yo, whatever you think you can do, whatever you want to do it. All right, that's like
awesome.
That's how green I was. And I didn't know better. And he had that much confidence in Mark.
Yeah.
All right, Mark is a beast to this day, bro. He's older than me, bro. Still.
Yeah.
Flipping and kicking and tornado. Yeah, he's a freak, bro.
That's awesome.
But yeah, man, these guys, they fixed me up. So Mark fixed me up, and then this other dude he had in there, Terry. Terry almost broke my jaw, bro, that first day.
No way.
Yeah, like his kick was so precise, bro.
Wow.
I've never been kicked so precise like that, bro. Like
wow.
he threw a roundhouse and it literally just clipped my jaw, bro. I was like, wow. I was like, what is going on? Then afterwards, my last sparring session was with Sensei, and that was another ass whipping. And you would think, something like that would deter me from going to the dojo. I signed up that same day. I was like, oh, hell nah. That same day I signed up, and like these guys are like my brothers, bro. Since then,
that's
so
awesome.
it's like, yeah.
That's awesome.
So then, So
it looks like you needed that humbling experience.
Yeah, for sure.
To feel the brotherly bond that you form when you wrestle with your brothers and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Because it was literally all love after that, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they clown me a little bit, but I'm just like, I'm a man, so I'm used to the banter, you know. But it was nice, man. It was nice.
I did something similar. That I'm smiling because I did something similar when I first got to the dojo as well. So I was very cocky.
Yeah. I mean, it is. You're like, we're men, so it's normal for us. So I did the boxing. Then I went to Ajadi Tenshin. His school was karate, but he taught us fighting. Period.
Yeah.
Like he taught us he had a jiu-jitsu coach. No, we had like 2 jiu-jitsu coaches.
Yeah.
And then he taught us kickboxing. Like he also taught us elbows and knees, Muay Thai. Like he taught us, it was just MMA. Like he taught us how to fight, period. So I was there for a while. I was there for like a good 7 years, bro.
And what was your biggest obstacle when you started? Well, not when you started per se, but just throughout your MMA career.
My biggest obstacle at the time was just managing just distractions, bro. Cause just distractions, man. Cause like I wanted to fight, but at the same time, like I was young, I was good looking, so I was always behind girls too. So I say that was like my biggest distraction, just females, period, at the time.
I see.
Yeah, I mean, it just is what it is.
Natural.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah, I'd say that was my biggest distraction. Then you have others, but all my distractions were manageable. Like it was never anything that took me out of what I love to do. It was nothing that took me out of my discipline. Nothing that really made me not go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
But thinking back, the thing that had my attention but like almost equal to martial arts was females. Like just always trying to,
I see.
Yeah.
No, I feel
just
you.
being a man, being a young man, bro.
How would you describe yourself?
How would I describe myself? I am a God-fearing man that I just try, bro. A God-fearing man that tries, just to keep it that simple.
See, and how would others describe you?
That's interesting. I don't know. I don't think anyone would. I don't think any 2 people would describe me. Well, no. Let me not say that. But I wouldn't think that everyone would describe me the same, because everyone doesn't get the same part of me.
Right.
Like I treat people accordingly for the most part.
Yeah.
Most times. But let's say most times I'm with my guys at the gym. Like you probably meet them when you come Wednesday, if we still do that. You'll meet them. But I'd say these guys, I think they'll kind of see me as like a brother, you know, like I'm just there for them, willing to push them, not allowing them to take the easy route. Like I'm there to motivate you, I'm there to push you, I'm there to make sure that you do what you say you was gonna do.
Awesome.
And yeah, so.
So you hold them accountable.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Do they do the same?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's why they're my boys, man. Cause yeah, I don't want to be looked at as someone that you can't tell to, you know, hold himself accountable. Let's say we in the gym. Let's say you and me, we in the gym. I don't want you to look at me and be like, yo, you said you was gonna do 12, but you only did 10. Like, I want you to be able to look at me like, yo, nah, you said 12. I need 2 more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
That's
like
good.
I like being held accountable, and that comes from Sensei Jody. Like he was always like that. Like hold yourself accountable.
Yeah.
I remember there be days, bro. Like I remember the time like I hurt my left shoulder, bro. I'll never forget this. Like I hurt my left shoulder, and his questions were like, he was like, yo, your legs are good? I was like, yeah, my legs are good. He was like, what about your right arm? Your right arm good? I was like, yeah. I'm thinking he's just genuinely concerned. Nah, bro was like, all right, I'll see you Tuesday.
That's awesome.
I'm like, yeah, I bet. So like, yeah, honestly, it just stays with me, bro. So I'm like, yeah, there's no excuses. So like recently, like I was doing Zercher squat. I was going kind of heavy, and you know, like when I fail a certain way so that like I don't injure myself. But I was a bit slow on my failing technique, so it kind of like the bar kind of slid down my knee. It didn't like crash it just slid down.
Yeah.
But whatever, I got injured a little bit, not so much. And like I think it's engraved in me already, bro. Like to just find what works so I can keep going, rather than be like, oh shit, I hurt myself, let me stay home.
Right.
So like that same day, I was like, all right, I know this is hurting. Let me see what else I can do. I was like, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this. I was like, all right, I'm coming back to gym tomorrow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good mentality to have.
No, for sure.
Yeah. What lesson stuck with you from that time you did MMA till now?
I think pretty much what we just said right now, where it was like always find like another way. Like if one thing doesn't work, find something else. Like this is really this. It's not easy, but it's that simple. Like if this doesn't work, cool. There's something else that will work. You just have to keep trying. And then as far as for me in fitness, bro, this thing is it's just my thing. You know what I mean? So from like I've tried almost everything on myself when it came to fitness, from like high intensity, CrossFit, bodybuilding, now I'm powerlifting. So it's just like, so yeah.
Why should anybody start lifting weight or join an MMA dojo?
I'd say lift weights just to prolong your life. Like you'd be surprised how quickly your body deteriorates when you don't use it. You know what I mean? So it's like put your body through controlled stress. That way we can get stronger. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, it's like people don't realize like getting out of bed is a sit-up. You know what I'm saying? Like getting off this chair is a hinge and a squat. Like, and it's just these little movements that are like essential for life, period.
Yeah.
Is the reason why like I would tell someone to go to the gym. Like, cause like, all right, you're gonna go pick something up, right? That's a squat, right? You're gonna bend over, that's a hinge, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or, you know, you're gonna reach up for something, that's a calf raise. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, these are essential movements for life, period.
Yeah.
So go to the gym, train your essential muscles, and then just live a good life, you know? Like,
would you do isolated muscles or would you do mobility training?
So me, what I would recommend for someone, I would recommend for someone new going into the gym, like I would recommend just as far as lifting weights, I'll recommend 5 excuse me, I recommend about 5 lifting exercises and cardio. So like I'd say squat, it doesn't have to be heavy, but you have to squat, right?
Mhm.
Even if it's just body weight. Just
Yeah.
get used to sitting and standing, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll have you deadlift, because deadlift is a hinge, right? Get you understanding the form of hinging, right?
Yeah.
Because when we stand up right now, we're gonna hinge and then
Yeah.
stand up, right?
Yeah.
So get used to the same thing when you sit down, you hinge and then sit,
Mhm.
right? Get used to pressing, right? Because pressing is an essential movement, right? Get used to pulling, because that's also an essential movement.
Yeah.
And then overhead, because you're always gonna have to. You need shoulder strength to like reach and do all that stuff. So you develop some muscles over here, just pushing stuff overhead, reaching for stuff when you get older shouldn't be a problem. Why? Because you
Yeah.
have the shoulder muscles to, bring your arm up there. So those, and then I'll recommend the treadmill, because it's your heart. You know what I'm saying? If your heart's not pumping good, then everything else is.
Would you recommend the Stairmasters?
Yeah, it's a form of cardio, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially for like someone who's not like an extreme gym goer like me.
Yeah.
Like even me now, like after leg day at doing the stairs, oh my gosh, it kicks my ass.
Mm.
But yeah, it's good, because, bro, some people don't have, like, this building doesn't have elevators. You gotta walk up the steps,
Yeah.
right? Stairmaster. Easy way to just make this going up the steps nothing,
You also mentioned controlled stress
Mhm.
when it comes to workout. Can you elaborate a little bit
Yeah,
about that?
so we go through stress every day. Everything that we do causes stress in one way or another, right? So let's say, okay, so let's say for the gym, for example, right? Control stress. Let's say you're using a machine, right? And the machine kind of takes away you having to stabilize, right? But it still stresses your muscle enough to where it forces it to grow and to develop, right?
Mhm.
So in a way, how can I put it to where it makes sense? Let me say. All right, let's say controlled stress is something that you deliberately put upon yourself for a certain goal, let's say,
Okay.
i.e., lifting weights, right? You put yourself through that stress of lifting weights
Mm.
to force your muscles to grow, right? You put yourself, like, example for me, like, I'll put a whole bunch of plates on the bar because
Yeah.
I want to get stronger, right?
Okay.
So the stress is me putting the weight on the bar. The result is I want to get stronger, so I put myself through that stress, and now I'm able to push whatever. Why? I'm able to look like this. I'm able to do the things I do. Why? Because
Right.
I've put myself through a controlled, stressful situation.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. I actually thought that was a type of exercise
Yeah.
that you were mentioning. So,
No,
but
no,
yeah,
no.
I
Yeah,
get
just
that.
in general, it's just, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, but again, like the control stress thing, that kind of goes for everything,
Yeah.
So it's like you want to learn something, right, that you have no idea, you don't know anything about yet, right?
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, this podcast, right? Let's say you've never podcast before.
Right.
You dive into the information of podcasting, right? That's the controlled stress, right? It's stressful because you don't fucking know nothing about it, right?
Yeah.
And to sit there and study and know and watch videos, it's not always fun, right? It's not always fun. Sometimes it's boring. Again, that's a stressful,
Right.
stressful situation, right?
Yeah.
So that's why, but you still control that. Why? Because at the end of the putting yourself through that controlled, stressful environment or situation, you're gonna learn how to do this, which you pretty much are doing it now. You know what I
Right.
mean? So yeah.
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 Now, I also mentioned mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Would you recommend that?
Why?
Why should anybody?
Yeah,
join?
so I absolutely would recommend martial arts. Yo, do martial arts, bro. Seriously, like, and I say this because like, there's nothing better than having the confidence to defend yourself if you need to, or to
Yeah.
protect your loved ones if you need to,
Mhm.
right? And me, like if you see me outside, bro, like, I'm not intimidating, bro. I don't walk around trying to be intimidating. I really don't. Like, I despise that. You know what I'm saying? I can.
Right.
I can, but like, what's the point in it? That was never the purpose of me doing martial arts or lifting weights, was to be a bully or to be intimidating. But if the need ever arises, like, it is nothing for me to flip the switch and break somebody if I have to.
Right.
You know, so just having that, I think is just essential for life. You know, because you just never know. You know, and luckily for me, like, I've never had to. I've never had to. You know what I'm saying? God is just, He watches over me. So it's like, I've never had to. But in the instance that I do have to, I can. Yeah. You know, so it's good to know, because when you develop confidence, you develop a skill that no one can take for you. Once you know it, you know it.
Yeah.
You know, and then just you just have the awareness, and it also helps to be aware of certain things, you know, because it's like, you can kind of read if a situation is going to go bad, because you have the experience in martial arts where you're always being put in that stressful environment. So it's just like, you know, and then let's say you actually do get into that altercation. A lot of people outside, they don't, you could play tough. You could be the tough guy, right? But it's like, you gotta understand, like, a lot of these people that do martial arts, they're in that stressful situation daily, right? You know what it is to have to fight through a chokehold daily. You know what it is to have somebody be in front of your face trying to punch and kick and knee you daily. So when you see it outside, when you encounter somebody outside that doesn't do that on a regular basis, and you yourself have encountered it on a regular basis, to you it's just another Monday. To them it's a big thing. So it's just like, to have that calmness in the storm, it's just like, bro, it's priceless. Honestly, it's priceless. Yeah. You know, 'cause, you know, you see new people go into the dojo, and you can see that they're not used to that environment, right? So like, putting the gloves on, having somebody in front of you, could see how they react, right? It's just like, you can see that they're new or they don't know, but that's how most people are outside. They don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you knowing, having that confidence, like, for me, it's priceless. Like. So MMA is definitely essential, because just so you can have like the confidence to defend yourself.
And I think people who know how to fight, they usually have so much control that
because like,
they don't need to, like, in any stressful situation, they would de-escalate if they can.
Exactly.
Because they know what
exactly. It's just like, yo, big dog, you got it. As a matter of fact, I had to do that too recently.
Right.
Like, dude approached me. It was weird. Dude was super weird. Like, his lady just like, we just said what's up to me, but it wasn't even like she came up to me. It was literally like a wave, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we just kept moving. To me, it was nothing. It was just like, I see you, yo, and then I'm walking out the door. That's literally what it was. It was so weird. And then I'm standing in line, and then dude approaching me. He's behind me. He's like, it's so weird. He was like, oh, you said something to my girl. I'm like, a big dog. I don't want no problems, bro. I'm like, I don't want no problems, bro. I was like, yo, you got it, bro. You saw what it was, bro. Like, it was super respectful. Like, I want no problems. I'm really like this, bro. I want no problems. But, you know, but it's just like you said, you know, like, there's no point. Like, you know, like, most martial artists don't see a point in escalating and getting there. You know, it's just like, we do it every day. All right, for 2-3 hours at a time. You know what I mean? So it's just like, bro, I'm just outside. I want to relax, bro.
Like, you see what you've done to people who actually know how to fight.
Exactly.
Imagine just somebody,
exactly.
some regular person on the outside. Yeah.
No, so it's just like and then, you know, outside there's no, you know, like I said, there's no tapping. I always say that, like, there's no tapping out outside. Like, if I don't want to let go of this choke, I'm gonna take your life. If I don't want to let go of your leg, I'm gonna break it. You know what I mean? Like, like, so it's just like, most martial artists, I think they realize that, you know, they just like, yo, you got it, big dog, no problem, you got it. And so
I see. All right. What's your biggest strength?
My biggest strength, as far as like,
just anything.
Let me see, my biggest strength. I think my biggest strength is, let me think. I think it's just like my will to just continue. like even if something isn't working out for me, like I am quick to be okay with it and move on. Like I don't find myself dwelling on things
I see.
like much or even at all, honestly. Like if something happens, I'm like, okay, like if there's truly nothing I can do about it, like I I really do my best not to dwell on it.
Okay.
Like I don't give it energy. I don't let it stay in my head too long. I mean, as a human being, like, you know, we can't control that all the time. You know what I'm saying? But I'm quick to be like, all right, like let's focus on something that we can actually control. Let's do something. Let's do something we can actually do. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. So I'd say, yeah, I say that's my biggest strength is just my willingness to just keep going. Like, just like if something's not working, let it go onto something else.
And what is your biggest weakness?
My biggest weakness, I'd say, is procrastination. I've always fight with that. Like I'll have a whole list of things, right? I'll have a whole plan out, right? And then I don't know why, like I'll procrastinate on it. I guess I don't know. I guess like sometimes I have to talk myself out of just procrastinating for some reason. I don't know why.
I see.
But yeah, I mean, eventually I end up snapping out of it. Like I end up talking to myself the way I talk to myself in the gym, like a bitch. Yeah, like I'm harsh on myself sometimes. I'm like, yo, stop being a bitch, bro. Like, yo, tee up. And then I'm like, all right, I just snap out of it, and then I just get to work.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so let's say, all right, so recently, like I said, I hurt my leg, right?
Right.
I know my leg is good enough. I knew my leg was good enough to start squatting again, right? But I didn't, and I'm just like, and then I got to a point, like, I let it drag on, seriously, like, I let it drag on, like, for like another extra 3 weeks of not squatting or squatting the way that I wanted to, so I could get the power that I want, also I get the numbers that I want.
Right.
I just left it alone, and then it was just eating me up inside. I'm like, and I was like, yo, stop being a bitch, bro. Like, you being a bitch. I was like, you really being a bitch. And yeah, so I started squatting again recently, like what? It's like 3 weeks ago. And today, actually, I'm gonna attempt my current PR. Yeah, so it's just like, yeah, just again, like I said, I'll have a whole plan, and I had this plan written down already to just the numbers I want to hit, how many reps I want to hit, how many sets I'm gonna do to get back to my current PR, which I'm gonna attempt today. Awesome. And I was just sitting on it for like a whole month and a half, like.
So in those situations, you just snap out of it by the way you speak to yourself.
Yeah, like I just become real harsh with myself, like. And again, that kind of comes from being in the dojo, like with Sensei, because he was like that. He was just like, yo, like.
I honestly can relate to. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I'm the same.
Yeah, sometimes you stop being. You just tell yourself, stop being a bitch, bro. Like you playing games. Why you playing yourself? Yeah. I started talking to myself in third person, like.
Yeah.
Like, yo, like being a bitch, bro. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes they do need that.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, man. And it's good that I like. Somebody put it into perspective, man. It was like, it's not you talking, it's God in you talking. Like, it was like, I was just like, yeah, you're right. And I was just like, it makes sense, because the God in you wants you to do and be great. Right. So it's just like he's giving you that pep talk, like, yo, get off your ass, do it. Yeah.
No, but that's good, man. Especially if you don't have your boys around, because usually you push harder with your boys.
No, for sure.
Like,
for sure.
At least that's I can relate to that.
Yeah.
So it's good to talk yourself into just pushing.
Yeah.
When you know you can.
Yeah, it's definitely Honestly, I think it's a skill. I honestly see it as a skill too, bro. Like, to be able to talk to yourself like that, like, You know, a lot. You know, because I don't think everyone has that dialogue in their head that like makes them want to get up and like push when you really don't want to push.
I still haven't found people that don't have the dialogue in their head. Mm-hmm. But I heard that there are people that don't, which I find. I found like when I think I stumbled across a video on YouTube that stated that some people don't have dialogue in their head. I'm like, how? I don't understand it.
Oh, yeah, that's wild to me. Yeah. I think that's crazy. But yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the voice in my head is very strong, man. Very strong sometimes.
That's good.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about your childhood?
My childhood?
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't have a bad childhood, bro. I was actually spoiled as fuck. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna lie. I was spoiled, bro.
Only child?
No, I have a younger sister.
Okay.
So yeah, man, I was super spoiled, bro. Like my childhood was good. Like, growing up, I was outside a lot with my boys. My boys came to the house a lot. I got whatever video game I wanted, whatever system I wanted growing up, I got it. Yeah, man, I was just a spoiled kid, bro.
So, did you have any challenges growing up?
Challenges? Not really, bro. Honestly, seriously, not really.
And okay, so do you think that being spoiled kind of shape your mind in a way that's different from others?
In a way, yeah. You know, and it's I don't know. It's different, man. Like it's hard for me to touch on, cause like you would think because because I was a bit spoiled that like, you know what I'm saying, like I would be like entitled to like things and shit like that, but I'm not. But it's
so funny. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Cool, it's cool.
I was just gonna ask you that.
Yeah.
I was gonna wait for you to finish, and then I was gonna ask you that, because usually when you spoil a kid, they grow up to feel entitled to things. So
you know, but it's weird because I'm not, bro. Like
I know you, and I know you're not. Like
so it's like I think, but you know what? Being spoiled, right? Mm-hmm. And coming across martial arts was like, it was a game changer for me, because like, you know, you grow up spoiled, everything is handed to you. Right? In martial arts and gym, like, yo, nobody can give you a fucking 315 bench press. They can't give you a punch kick. You have to grind and earn that. So I think the fact that was one of the first things that like I earned.
Yeah.
Like when I went to the boxing for the first time, and I was like, I learned how to throw a proper jab cross hook, and the bag was like bop bop boom. I was like, oh, this is me right here. Like I fell in love with that. And again, that was something that I earned myself for like one of the first times like I've earned, aside from school, you know, awesome. And my grades and stuff like that. But but that was one of the first things like I've earned like myself. So I think that's what kind of like kept its hold on me, where I was like, this is like my first true thing that I've earned for real.
Awesome.
And I just never let it go.
I love that. I love that. So I would agree with that. I think that martial arts definitely kept you, I guess, humble.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, in many ways. Yeah, in many ways, it definitely kept me humble.
Yeah.
You know. So. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. It's good to know. So that's another way. That's another reason to go to a dojo.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So,
for sure. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. I'm gonna ask you the last two questions.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
What's something people wouldn't know about you unless you tell them?
Let me see. Let's say I am a real go with the flow kind of guy. Like, some people might, I don't know, some people might think I don't care, You know, but it's not that I don't care. It's just that I just go with the flow. Like, it's just like I don't even know how to put it into words, bro.
I see.
But it's like I'm not like I don't try to control a lot of things. Like, I kind of just like let things be. Like, it's, I don't know.
I see. No, I see what you mean.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I'm just a real go with the flow kind of guy. I really don't stress much. And you know, I might come off like I don't care or heartless or maybe I don't know. But it's just, it's not that I don't care. It's just that I don't think it's valuable for me to, you know, stress or try to control everything. You know, I don't know. I just don't see a reason for it. I don't think it like helps me in any way to try to be like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think people are gonna do whatever they're gonna do, and you just let them, and just, you know, keep your inner peace, I'd say. So,
what advice would you give your younger self?
What advice would I give my younger self? Leave the girls alone, bro. For sure. Yeah, man. Cause yeah, I've been in enough trouble because of girls growing up. So yeah, just leave the girls alone, bro. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
All right. Where can people find you?
Find me on my Instagram. It's _ the letter ANG_L. Recently, I've just been posting my daughter in there a lot because she's a character. But if you scroll down, I got a bunch of workouts. I'll start posting workouts again. What else? If you want, I train at Mount Vernon Barbell Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I train at OMMA Karate it's in Long Island, but if you just type in OMMA Karate in Google, you'll find the directions there. I'm there Thursdays at 8 p.m. if you want to join my kickboxing class. It's fun, a lot of good people there. You'll be welcome with open arms, teach you some stuff. You guys can email me if you want. If you got any questions, I'm always open to answer some emails. My email is my first and last name, Angel Guzman 90@gmail.com. And yeah, if you want to chat with me, just hit me up.
Awesome. I love it. That was